Check 1 2 check. Check 1 2. Check 1 2 check.
Surely, never mind the bollocks you must have been proud of and happy with.
It was fine for then, but so what? Times move on. You cannot live in the past. Only a fool looks back to last year or the year before.
Well, so how do you see music?
I'm not looking forward.
Right. So how do you see music in the 80s?
Hopefully getting better.
In what way, though?
In that many attitudes will be accepted, not just one way. Punk became like fascist. It has to be this way or else.
But didn't you dictate that to some extent?
No, I did not. I've always said music should be many attitudes. All are tolerable. It becomes intolerable when one particular form takes over and obliterates the rest. That is wrong.
Didn't you feel some achievement of overthrowing the establishment and making them open the doors to young groups?
No, the pathetic conclusion of that movement was one load of arseholes were replaced with another load.
I was watching this old interview with John Lydon, aka Johnny Rotten of the Sex Pistols recently, and what he said actually brought to mind Francis Bean Cobain. I wanted you to hear his opinion first before I put my own 2 cents in. Let me just say this. To this day, the words punk rock in the mind of almost anyone would conjure up images of spikes and chains and tattoos and leather jackets and combat boots and young men beating the crap out of each other. But according to John Lydon, most would say the king of punk rock, what he meant to happen was that all images, all music, all attitudes, all ways of life would become punk rock, would become acceptable. And when you pigeonhole someone and you make them into one thing and they're not allowed to be anything but that thing, that would be considered fascist. You have to be this or you can't be anything. You have to be like us, exactly like us, or you're not in the group. We have a lot of that going around in the country right now, both sides of the political party telling the other that they're right and the other is wrong. And it's gotten so bad that one side has decided if we can't have our way, if we cannot use reason and logic to convince you of our side's argument, then we'll just resort to drastic means. Whatever happened to you do you, I'll do me? Whatever happened to different strokes for different folks? Whatever happened to everybody minding their own goddamn business and letting everyone else mind their business? Instead, we live in this world that wants to control. Everybody wants to control everyone else. It's a weird phenomenon. It's taking over. It's causing a lot of issues. And as anyone who studies history knows, it's not the first time this has happened. So if I could help in any little way, I would like to make an example out of Francis Bean Cobain, because she is teaching you something that really needs to be heard right now. Her way of life, the way she has chose to lead her life, could teach us all a great deal about being your own person, ignoring the rhetoric, ignoring the white noise all around you. When people tell you to do this or that or be this or that, and you just forge your own path and stay in your own lane, that's fighting back against of what has become this obsessive need for one group to control everyone. Just by doing your own thing is punk rock, in my opinion. I was thinking about Francis Bean lately after seeing a picture of her and how happy she looked holding her child. And I thought to myself, her dad would be proud because it's so punk rock. Let me explain. Isn't it amazing that Francis Bean Cobain, the daughter of a super feminazi that time and time again has used the excuse the patriarchy is misogynist every time she gets caught doing something she shouldn't have done, and daughter of a 90s progressive liberal feminist, Kurt, her father. Now, notice I say a 90s liberal, not a 2020s liberal. Two different things. Rebelled against her parents. You're probably thinking, what the hell are you talking about? Think about it. Francis Bean was raised to be an artist, to be a musician or a photographer or a fashion model, to be this great, independent, super feminist woman, even when she was still a little child. People like Billy Corgan, one of the most prolific songwriters of the 90s, is saying she can be whatever she wants to be. She's so talented. I will support her in anything she wants to do. Any number of celebrities, musicians, actors, actresses would have rushed to Frances's side to promote her, market her, help her, aid her, teach her, whatever. And she rebelled against it all and just said, no thanks, I'm going to do my own thing. Every publication on the planet is pushing her to do this, do that, be a musician. We want to hear you sing. Marc Jacobs convinced her to allow him to rip off her father's Nirvana logos, right? Everybody thought that she was going to follow in the footsteps of her parents, and she completely rebelled, and she found solace and love in motherhood, the exact opposite of what she was raised and groomed to do, of what we probably thought she would do, or what she could have done. Did you know that the role of Alice in Tim Burton and Johnny Depp's Alice in Wonderland, it was her role, there for the taking. Johnny was going to give it to her. They were going to teach her how to act, mentor her. And Frances said, no thanks, I'll find my own thing. She could have done anything. She could have been anyone. And remember, to put it into perspective, remember that she grew up during a time when everyone, or it seems as though as everyone in the world on social media, which is where teenage and kids in their 20s live, everyone in the world is telling her it's not cool to be a mother. It's not cool to have a family. Don't fall victim to motherhood. Don't submit to a man. You have to have a career. And that's what's going to bring you happiness, right? To have a career and be a boss bitch. And Frances Bean said, no, thank you. There is no other way, no better way. And I love Kurt Cobain just as much as you guys do. I've written probably 50 videos on the guy, so I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way, but it is what it is, and truth is truth, and fact is fact. There is no better way for Frances Bean to rebel against her parents than to have a loving, stable family home. And her entire life revolves around the child and the family home. It has nothing to do with outside sources or art or music. There's no career. Frances isn't dragging her baby around to music venues to hold up in front of 10,000 Kurt Cobain fans like a trophy. She's not using her child to enhance her career. Matter of fact, she don't even want that shit. You can clearly and plainly see that this child is so important to her that they will not even allow the public to see the child's face. Every photo I've seen so far, the child's face is not shown or it's blurred out, unlike her childhood where she was paraded around the globe and held up like some kind of prize trophy for Courtney Love to gain Kurt Cobain fans. She doesn't want a career. This is how I know that Frances Bean is indeed Kurt Cobain's daughter. I almost fell prey to this notion that there was a good possibility Billy Corgan was the father, especially if you look at younger pictures of Frances compared to Billy, But it's obvious to me today that she is her father's daughter because she's going to do the exact opposite of what you want her to do. When you really think about it and you go back and you listen to someone like Johnny Rotten's words about what the idea of punk rock was supposed to be.
You're quite famous, aren't you?
Yeah, I suppose so.
How did all that happen?
I don't know. Through being honest.
Are you honest?
Yes, I am, very.
I think you're trying to shock people.
I don't give a shit what you think. I know what I think, and that's all that counts to me. I don't try and impress anybody but myself.
Not what it turned into, not the images. It's a lifestyle. It's an attitude. It's ignoring pressure around you, ignoring societal norms, ignoring your family, your friends, whoever is trying to pressure you to be somebody that you really know you're not. When you ignore that and you march to the beat of your own drum, you do your own thing, what makes you happy, that is punk rock. And in that context, Frances Bean Cobain is one of the most punk rock celebrities on the planet. She is just as stubborn as her father. She's going to do what she wants to do, not what you want her to do. Very respectful, especially during a time where there's an entire army of feminazis out there telling her that she's not a real woman if she submits to a man. She's not a real woman if she enjoys motherhood.
My problem is that I hate men, you know?
I don't hate men. I just think that they need to understand that they are not in control.
Do we need men, in your opinion?
No, because they do nothing all day.
Do we need men?
No, like, we just sit there.
Do we need men, in your opinion?
No, because they're icky.
We need more Frances Beans. Try to imagine the amount of negativity that she would have heard growing up about men, being the daughter of Courtney Love, who used men every step of her life, every step of her career, and still put them down. Imagine the tenacity, the self-reliance, the self-esteem, the confidence, anything that you can think of that makes a person strong. Frances Bean has it because she ignored all of it. She made up her own mind and she created a beautiful relationship with a man that she loves. The world needs women who just want to be women. In this day and age, following in Frances Bean's footsteps is way more punk rock than doing what the crowd wants you to do, submitting to strangers who want to dictate your life. I encourage everyone, man or woman, to ignore the pressures of social media, to ignore the pressures surrounding you, and do what you know is right in your own heart. That is the epitome of what it means to be punk rock.
Are you honest?
Yes, I am, very.
I think you're trying to shock people.
I don't give a shit what you think. I know what I think, and that's all that counts.